So there seems to be a lot of talk about first party and second party games. But what is a first party game and what is a second party game? Well, let's get into the video. Let's talk about it. Yo, what's going on, guys? It's that guy Ken back again with another video. Today we're going to be talking about these first party games and these second party games. What are these? What is a first party game and what is a second party game? Well, I'm going to answer that question for you today, right? But before we get into that, I want to kick this off by just giving you some information as to why I'm making this video, a little backstory on why I'm making this video in the first place. Right, so I had made a tweet a few days ago on Twitter that got a little bit of attention, and obviously in Twitter fashion there were a lot of people who had left their comments in the thread or whatever that I thought were interesting. Now this is my tweet. I'm going to go ahead and read this, and I'm going to put it on the screen for you guys so you can see this. Right, so my tweet was, fun fact, Sony will have more first-party games that actually released for the PS5 by 2023 than all of the games announced by Microsoft. That's what I said. Now, I noticed that there were some comments, and I came across one that I thought was particularly interesting. And this is from McQuack306, and this is what he said. Fun fact, Sackboy's Big Adventure, Returnal, and Demon's Souls were not first-party games at release. They were second-party games. First, game developed and published by platform holder Studio. Second, game developed by third-party pub by first-party. Third, game developed by outside first-party. So basically what he's trying to do is give some small definitions as to what a first, a second, and a third-party game is, right? And also what he's alluding to is the fact that Sackboy, Returnal, and Demon's Souls are not first-party games. Now, that would have been true if the situation hadn't changed. So when Sony did, he's right, and I'm gonna say, and I will say this, he is right, because at the time of the release, these games were not first-party games. At least for Returnal and Demon's Souls. Sackboy's a little bit different, but we're going to get into that in a few minutes. Returnal and Demon's Souls were not first-party games when they were released, at the time. Why is that? Because Sony didn't actually own the studio for these games. They did own the IP for both of those games, but the studios weren't owned by Sony, so therefore they did fall under the category of a second-party studio. Because these IP were made specifically under contract with those studios, to be exclusive for the PS5, right? But before I even continue with this, I want to go ahead and read a little definition here. What a first-party developer or second-party is, right? So, what is the difference between first-party and second-party game developers? Basically, first-party developers are developers that are owned and run by the various console platform holders, that being Microsoft, Sony, Nintendo. Second-party developers are independent studios that work under contract for the platform holders to make exclusive content for their platform, right? Now, a first-party developer would be someone like Guerrilla Games, Naughty Dog, Sucker Punch, so on and so forth, right? Horizon, God of War, those games, right? A second-party developer would be someone like From Software, right? From Software had made Bloodborne, for example, right? Bloodborne was a second-party game because that game was specifically made under contract with a third-party studio to be exclusive for the PlayStation 4 at the time. Another game would be something like Last Guardian, right? That game was made specifically under contract with that particular studio to make exclusive content for the PS5. So those games would be considered to be second-party games, right? Now, I'm going to circle back to Sackboy's Big Adventure because this one is a little bit of an outlier, right? I had come across some information a while back, and I don't know if I'll be able to find the tweet, but a developer had basically cleared up what a first-party game is and what it can be, right? And Sackboy is unique in that way because Sackboy wasn't created by one of Sony's first-party studios. However, the IP would be considered to be a first-party IP, right? So back in the PS3, obviously, I think it was Media Molecule. They were the ones who had actually created the IP for, Little Big Planet, which is now Sackboy. So that IP is owned by Sony, and that IP would be considered to be a first-party IP, right? However, the game was developed by a different studio that was not owned by Sony. That being Sumo Digital, if I'm not mistaken. However, the fact that the game is a first-party IP puts that under the category of a first-party game. So it is very possible for you to have a game that's a first-party IP be considered a first-party game, even though the game was not specifically developed under the platform holders' studios. So in this particular case, Sackboy's Big Adventure actually does fall under the category of it being a first-party game, right? So what this guy is saying is ridiculous. I mean, at this point, it's just arguing semantics, really. Sackboy I can understand to a degree, although it is still considered to be a first-party game. However, Returnal and Demon's Souls is literally just semantics. If you're arguing that these games are not first-party games, then you literally look stupid. Because yeah, at the time they were second-party games, but things have changed. Sony purchased these studios, and Sony now owns these studios. They own the IP for these games, so they are therefore considered to be first-party games. So, there you go. I came across this comment. I thought it was silly, to say the least, obviously. And I wanted to clear that up a little bit, and I thought it would be a fun little video for everybody. Pretty short, but to the point. But hopefully, at the very least, it was entertaining and, informative for people who didn't know, right? But anyway, that's all I had to say about this today. I don't have anything else to say on this particular topic. If you liked the video, make sure you like, share, subscribe, leave a comment in the comment section, hit that notification bell, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.